To see examples of what we talked about on this episode, along with further information, go to bunchofdorks.com.
Welcome everyone to
Two Dimension Podcast,
the comic book podcast
With No Direction. Two-dimension. Two-dimension. What's up, everybody? You know that song, you know this voice. It's me, Brooke, by myself. I don't know where Don is at the moment. Maybe he'll join us. But I'm sitting here with our good friend, one of the creators of Wurst Mayhem. Say hello again to Ryan Kroboth.
How's it going, everybody?
Man, Ryan, issue 3 was so good. And I would be holding it in my hand right now if I hadn't handed it over to Don, who is missing. And I'm totally going to give you grief. There you go. He's got it. Of course you've got it. But let me just talk about this book for a minute. I know we've got to talk about the next issue, but issue 3, first, the cover. The cover was so cool. I had to actually do a video of it to show people, to make them understand how cool the look on that cover was.
Did you get the lenticular or no?
Yeah, the one.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. So
It came
good.
out awesome.
Yeah. So we're ready to start the Kickstarter for the next issue, and I've just got to laugh. Issue 3.5. And Ryan, you're over here smiling too. You know, the nerds in the crowd will get the joke. Do you want to explain that for everybody else?
Well, I mean, actually, like it was part like due to you. Like I was talking with you, and we were making a joke about making like a half issue, and you're like, "Yo, you should do it." And if you're gonna do it, 3.5 is the one because that's like a very beloved version of D&D. And I was like, "Oh man, that's perfect."
Man, I forgot that I dude, I didn't know that was partially.
Credit where credit is due.
Oh man, that's so freaking cool. Man, that's awesome. I love that. But you're right, 3.5 was such a great version of D&D. You know, that joke could not have been missed. I'm so glad you guys did it.
Yeah, and it worked out perfectly. Just like John just moved twice in 1 year, and so it's been a little difficult for him to sit down and get some stuff done. So this was a good opportunity. The editor, James Powell, actually wrote this issue. He really loves the story, so he was like, "Oh, will you guys let me write a one-off?" And we're like, "Yeah, go for it." He's like, "How long you want it?" We're like, "As long as you want." So he wrote a whole story and a backup story, and they both go together. And it's so out there, but it fits the story really well. And it seemed like a good opportunity to slot this in because John was moving, getting things sorted. So we didn't have to write it. It's like he was able to draw this one so fast because of the way the story is, which will make sense when you guys read it. Um, and it fit in between the issues, and it just happened to be like that 3.5 thing where like, all the pieces fit, so like you kind of just roll with it.
There you go. Roll with it.
Get it?
Yeah, da-da-da. Speaking of roll with it, I got to talk to you about the package delivery for me for issue 3. So this is funny. I mean, I so everybody who's gotten a copy of Worst Mayhem, we all know we get the box and it's got the get your camera ready, worst unboxing ever. You open it up and you get your D20 and you get to roll. So I was giving you guys grief about the last 2 issues. Every time it rolls low, I fail every time. So you guys decided to try and pull a joke.
And the joke was on us. So I told John, I was like, all right, what we got to do is we're going to buy some joke dice. We're going to get dice that have all ones on it. And there was actually like it was a two pack. It also had a dice pack that was all 20s. And we're like, we're gonna put this in the package and then we're gonna send it to him because he was like, oh yeah, my cursed dice. And I literally wrote a little note. It was like, hey, you said that you were having really bad luck with the dice. Hope you have better luck with this one. We were dying laughing like it. And somehow because we didn't we prepped your package, but it got packaged up with the rewards. And then when we got to the end, we're like, oh shit, we packed it up. Like where did we go with it? And we opened it up and we swear we moved all the stuff over to the new package, moved the label. And then we're like laughing. We're like, can't wait to see like when this shows up. And then you posted the picture online and I'm like
That's not right.
texting John, I'm like, John, Rook just posted the picture of his book and his dice roll, and it wasn't the dice. John's like, no way. I was like, I am not kidding. And he goes and he looks it up and he sees it. He's like, how did we do that? I don't even know who got your package. We had a big R on the front so we wouldn't screw it up and everything.
So so here comes Ryan. He's messaging me and and he's like, hey, is there a big R on your box? And I'm like, no. I even went back to look at it. And so we start talking. So somewhere out there, and if you're listening to this show, please reach out to me because I would love to get pictures of your what you thought when you open that up. Somebody out there got this box.
It was probably
Random.
somebody, it was their first time backing the Kickstarter. Like, you were complaining about this last time. Like, what are you talking about? I don't even know you. Like this was just a random buy.
But you know what? Here's my thought. So I'll do random buys here and there on Kickstarter too. If I end up with that package, I'm gonna laugh hysterically because I'm gonna be like, these guys have a rapport with somebody, and it's hilarious.
Well, at least you still got a laugh out of it. I think it would have been way better if it if it panned out like it was supposed to.
Oh, I think it would be great, but this way we get to play this game of who got it. Somebody out there got that, and I would love to know who you are.
Well, hopefully they also got the right rewards.
Oh yeah. Well, nobody complained, right? So
Not that we saw.
there you go.
It's out there somewhere.
Oh man, that's so great. So go back to issue 3.5. You guys put your characters in the hands of somebody else that like was excited and like, yo, I want to write these characters. How did that feel to get that message initially that like somebody, and I mean he's involved in the book doing the editing. Those of us who have read it know he's got some snarky comments once in a while in the editing process. How did it feel to have him be like, I love this so much, I want to write a story?
I mean, it's basically an honor is the way I see it. Like, we put a lot of love into our book. We hope it comes through. We get really good feedback from people. So when somebody tells you that they're enjoying it so much, like I think it's the highest form of gratitude you can really get. I know like when we do variant covers and stuff, and I'm sure any artist or writer can attest that, you have just somebody doing like guest art on a cover. Like it's so cool seeing their take on it. And this is just like a whole nother level. Now last time we were on, we were like bugging you and you were talking about writing and it took a little bit, but we did get the story back from you, and it is hilarious. And I know we haven't had an opportunity because of John moving to sit down and like knock that out. But you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, maybe I should get off of the podcast, and make John draw that for this one because like I like it has a backup story, but the backup story ties in with the main story. Like they're very interconnected. And maybe it would just be really cool to have like your story in there along with the other guest story. Like it would
Oh
be like
man,
this
no,
cool meta thing.
don't do that. Don't change all the plans for the book. I mean, dude,
Um,
it was such an
like
honor
we're
for you guys to ask me, you know, and like you guys have never read anything I've written. You know, you've been on the show, you've talked to me, you know, you see my weirdness online. So for somebody to ask me to write for them, it was like, you want me to do what? Like, I had such a hard time wrapping my head around why you would want me to do to do it, but I had so much fun when I got deep into it and played with those characters.
and I think it was probably also because you mentioned it the first time and then the second time we were on and like you mentioned it again and like we didn't leave you alone or more accurately like, I didn't leave you alone. I was like, so how's that story coming along? You're like, how's that story coming
Well,
along? And then
yeah,
it's just like
no, you definitely lit a fire under me, and I appreciate that because it started a lot of writing on my side.
that's
So
awesome. Well,
yeah,
that's good to hear. John always calls it gentle pressure relentlessly applied.
I like that. I like that. Hey, we have another guest.
Yeah, sorry about that. It's been a mad panic.
It's the one and only Mr. Don Moore. Don, we're sitting here, of course, talking with Ryan. You've got the book, the last issue, 3 in your hand. Uh, we're talking about 3.5, the next upcoming issue. Uh, talk for a minute about, I know you had the book and we got to look at it together. Talk a little bit about getting to actually have the book in your hand versus digital like you usually get to.
Oh, it's there's nothing like it. Um, I'm gonna say I like this. I like the series, but reading the comic, I didn't realize how funny you guys were. I mean, it cracks me up. I do have one issue that I was actually going to bring up. I, I I came on the planet when the '60s started, and I'd watch reruns and actually shows that were happening then, and everything revolved around the man, the dad. The dad was the one that decided everything. The dad was the sound thought. I'd always hear the mother always saying, "What do you think, dear?" Now, when I become a dad, everything, the male's an idiot. The women, and I do appreciate the fact that women are getting, their say on this. But it's like the women are the ones that have all the thoughts. The men are just a bunch of dullards. And which is you guys have kept that going. You know, I'm reading this thinking, okay, I guess I was born at the wrong time, but I don't appreciate that aspect of it. But it is funny. It kept my interest. And I was telling Rook on the last episode, the design, how you use the border and the design, like when DeBard is, explaining things to how it's going on. Um, it just hits on a bunch of different cylinders all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, the Bard breakdown on the side was so freaking funny. What drew you guys to make that part? Like, where did that idea come from?
Like, so this one I did a lot of the writing on, and I think that as I was writing it, like I wanted it to be something just completely different. So we got the idea of doing the double page spreads, and then like because we didn't put Jerry in the issue, we wanted to have Jerry somewhere. Originally, the idea was going to be that we were going to have it at the end, and then like he was going to be like, "Yeah, and I made it, guys," or something like that. And then James was like, that's a funny joke, but maybe it's a little too early in the series for something like that, so come up with something else. And I was like, oh, I know. And like I pitched the stuff to John, and then like it's really funny because like I come up with the weirdest ideas. So like I'm a lot of more of the ideas, and then I give the ideas to John, and it just comes out, and like he comes out with these drawings that are like so much better than any way I could have ever thought of them. Like one of the jokes early on is like where he pulls the rock up out like the door up out of the floor.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like I was like, John, I'm like, I really like that one joke from Thor Ragnarok where like he's dangling from the chain and he's spinning around and he's like, hey, Leo, wait for it, hold on, I'm coming back around. So I was like, I want to do something kind of like that, where like he picks the door up, sets it down, but it's like, he's got to turn it around and everybody's just watching it. I'm like, is that even possible? Like, can we do that in like a comic format? And then he just draws it and it just works.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just blows my mind. Like they're the most ridiculous ideas that any sane person would be like, that's dumb.
But it was that part of the book. I laughed at that. Just the idea that he's just like yoink pulls the whole thing up. Like, oh, well, I'm not just going to turn it around. Like the logic of why he turned it around. I'm just like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know.
I took it. I accepted it.
Yeah,
I like the reaction to the people that were. I'm not trying to give things away, but the reaction to who was chasing
yeah.
after they went out of the rock. I thought, okay, that's
Oh man, so funny. Uh, So with the next issue 3.5, uh hitting up on Kickstarter again. Everybody, link's going to be on the blog and all that. Uh, with this issue, are you guys planning to do like more like full issues written by other people in betweens?
So we actually have one already written by Mark Romero, Attic Door Media. So he's a real big fan of the series too, and like he's always loving to see like things we're working on. He's also very into D&D, and he does like he's a DM and stuff like that. Um, so we reached out to him. I had read some stuff, and I wanted to do like a story about shoes. Like if like it sounds weird, right? But have you ever seen Zelda and the Minish Cap?
Yeah,
So like Link has the hat that talks.
yeah.
So I had been doing like character designs for these shoes that are talking shoes, and they're like magic boots from D&D, and they have like different powers, but they're barbarians. So they're so I pitched him this idea. John loves the alliteration, so it's the barbarians bombastic boots. So I came up with like I showed Mark the designs. I was like, I like would love if you would do like one shot and take these ideas, and he's like, can I do whatever? And we're like, just have fun. Like that's always been our thing. People just have fun. And he turned his story around, and like it's great. And actually, like tying it into this one, I was telling John like if we're doing issue number 3.5, and that's like a D&D thing. I was like, because I wanted to draw that one, and I'm the slowest artist ever. I delayed issue 3 by like a couple months because I did the backup story.
Worth it.
And thank you. And I was like, if I could get this one done in between 5 and 6, we could do 5E.
Oh man. Dude, that would be hilarious. That would be so funny.
And
Oh,
then I said after that, D&D will have to take cues from us.
exactly, exactly. You guys are gonna go in further in numbers than them. So
I sure hope so.
let's talk about that back the art in the second story in issue 3.
Mhm.
Worth it. Worth the delay.
yeah, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you detailed the crap out of that art.
It was supposed to be a 6-page story.
Really?
And I had tried to sit down and pencil it so many times, and it just got like there was a lot of meat to the script. So John wrote that story. So like that's how we decided to do it. Since I did the main one, he did the backup story. So then that way we're each kind of like we still collaborate in the end, but like it's kind of fun to like mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So the story's hilarious, and but I was having a very difficult time like breaking all the information that had to get into like 6 pages. So then I was just like, you know what? I think I need to give it some room to breathe. So I did like 4 pages on one or 4 panels on one and then like 6 panels on the next one. So it went from 6 pages to 12. And so like, it took a little bit longer then too. But it was actually a lot of fun. I used Hero Forge to design the dwarves because
Oh
I
no.
figured instead of sitting and trying to create all new characters, I actually went on Hero Forge and like I designed them in the app. So then I also had something that I could turn around in 3D, spin it, look it from the back.
Yeah.
I basically color tested all the stuff in the Hero Forge and then like had John make I think he helped me make two of them. So then that way we had like a couple of them. And it was a lot of fun, and that actually worked out, I think, really well because it saved a lot of time in the long run when it came to actually doing the stuff. So I could reference, like I literally had the 3D model that I could spin around and look at, all right, that's what the axe looks like. Here we go from this angle.
Oh, that's such a great idea. And I have to tell you, it's one I do as well. Um, when when my players are going to a new space, I jump on Hero Forge and I just start designing a bunch of NPCs for that area, so I get an idea of what they're looking forward to. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's
awesome.
a great tool that way, man. I love it.
And you could probably do that where you print the little standees out.
I can, and I have. They were in a vampire land, and I printed the big vampire that they had to fight. So yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, the glory of D&D. It's so much fun.
I do have a question on this. It kind of interests me because Rook has written a short story for you guys,
Yes.
and you brought up that it was too long. You were going to shorten it up, and I've read the script. It's really really nice, really funny, but
So
interesting.
we didn't do anything with Rook's story yet. Like
Right, right.
John, yeah, we're not going to change that story at all. Like his story was perfect.
I absolutely loved it, but what interested me was how you were going to reduce the size if you were. And then you were talking about the last piece you did went from 6 pages to 12.
Yeah.
How do how do you make these decisions? How do you figure these things out? Like you're talking about the story you felt should breathe on the one, John wrote.
Mhm.
How this is something I I'm not able to do. I'm breaking down a story, I can read them, but I can't put them together. And I've always said this: comics are a language. Some people have a real grasp of it. Some people can just tell a whole story in a few panels, whereas some people could take 12 issues and not really finish a sentence. So I'm just curious, how are you approaching this? Like you added stuff to the to
Yeah.
the
I mean, we kind of we don't give ourselves that limitation like Marvel was 22 pages or 24
right.
pages. And sometimes the limitation is good for storytelling because you need to get to that story and you need to tell it. But we also kind of like, there's comics you've probably read where there's like pages of nothing. And we don't want to contain like if we feel like we want to add in an extra joke or two, like issue one, we literally had pages of trade sequence. Like nobody else is going to do anything like that. Like we're like we're not limiting the page count. So as long as we know it's going to fit into the print. So when I added the pages, originally I only went up from 6 to 10. And then John said, "All right, well, if we're adding pages like that, you actually need to add two more so that way it fits the page count." And I'm like, "All right, there's going to be more explosions. Easy, done."
Oh,
That's what I did. That like the one is John's favorite panel. He loves it. The and I'll show it because it's this one where
Yeah.
oh yeah.
where she's getting
Yeah.
blown out the side there, and it's he just like the expression. And I don't even know if that was originally part of the plan. It was just like, all right, I'm gonna just draw a couple explosions. So it's kind of like looking at where you need to hit your page turns. Um, we actually screwed something up in the page turns, and that got didn't hit where they were supposed to because we had to change the layout again. But I don't think anybody's going to complain. So
On that page there, I love also with the explosion how the panels are all tilting, towards
yeah,
it. That's what I mean about you guys have a design. Now, when I read that, it didn't feel like, oh, they're just filling space. It read like it was supposed to, and that's the question I have. I'm not asking a very good question here, but it's something it just always fascinates me. Marvel looked at publishing Japanese comics in the early 70s. That
mhm.
was the big thing they were talking about. It's strange to say, back then you couldn't find Japanese comics at all. And what they were going to do was they were going to trade off, and the publisher in Japan was going to publish some Marvel comics, and Marvel was going to publish some Japanese comics. It didn't happen because the Japanese publishers felt like they were just way too wordy, not enough happening. And the American publishers, Marvel was one, but later when they started bringing them in the 80s, they were talking about how the Japanese have panels with nothing said. Just
Mhm.
show like somebody's air conditioner and their couch, their refrigerator, and they'll have panels of the character looking with a word balloon over them with just dots in it. Well, when you read them, it adds a space to it.
Mhm.
But in 70s comics, that was just wasted space that they didn't have time for. And I don't know, I'm always curious about link the stories to pages and how you fill it out. But yeah, it read it read beautifully.
Would have
The stuff
never
I read
known that was
digitally.
filler if you hadn't have said something.
And in the end, like, sometimes we write something out, and then when John draws it on the page, he might take panels out, he might add panels in. In the end, like John really makes a lot of the decisions, and he like his storytelling, and I tell him all the time, like he has an amazing storytelling sense. If he was here, he would tell you that he tries to think of it like a movie. He plays it like a movie in his head, and how would they compose the shot, and how would they line up, building up to the points that he wants it to hit. And I think it really comes through. Like, the story wouldn't be as good if it wasn't for John's amazing storytelling ability. At least I think so.
Well, that's I think what good partners do, pass the credit a lot. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, you gotta take it in, Ryan, that you have done a lot on this book as well.
Yes.
It's absolutely a team effort. Like, the art isn't done until even when we pass it to the letterer. So like we'll get something, we might even change ideas up in the script. Um, Even after it goes through the editor, John draws it, and then I'll do something weird in the colors that wouldn't even be in the story at all, and it just adds another layer to it. And then we'll pass it to the letterer. And our story is collaborative all the way through. Like Dave adds jokes all the time. So like he has like a little panel shout out in this one to his son where
Yeah.
he's like he's like grinding their bones, and he's like Reese broke it. So it's really fun because like, he's still part of the team, and like he'll add this stuff in and we just laugh. And it's great. Like, I don't know how many people would actually just let their letterer write whatever he wants as he's lettering the books.
Yeah, right. I mean, oh, that's so funny. But everybody that contributes to this book, that's the fun of it is that you guys all, from you and John to editing to lettering. I mean, everybody's having some fun with the book. So,
Yeah.
uh,
And I think it comes through, like I've been really enjoying getting like variant covers back from people and getting to see their takes on stuff like that. So this one's supposed to be, and right now it's August 4th, right? And this when the Kickstarter comes out, it's like the end of the month. And so right now I'm supposed to be drawing three covers. I'm going to be doing three variant covers, and I have the sketches. But when you hear this podcast, they're going to be all done. They're going to be on the Kickstarter page. They're going to look fantastic. Um, because I only have 3 weeks.
you feel stressed yet?
No, not at all.
But you did share the cover image for the Kickstarter with me. Don, I sent that to you too.
Saw that. I actually liked it quite well.
Do you see the reference right away without knowing?
Yeah, I knew.
Yep.
Actually, I was looking at it off my phone, and it was really tiny, and I thought, what's this in your Frazetta?
Yep.
Oh, okay, I see what it is.
It's so good. And, I mean, it's done so beautifully, like Princess of Mars.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one. I had that book, an original printing of it growing up. So yeah, I know that. I know that art well.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. And then I really wanted to, when I colored it, like I wanted it to look like a painting, and then like the art style from the book, like over top of it. So it's like the cell shaded style characters. And when I did the background and like I had the reference up and I was painting the sun and stuff, like I put it in the image first to see what it would look like, and it didn't match up because it while the composition was similar, it wasn't the same. So I ended up pulling the reference to the side, and I was kind of looking at like, okay, like what was he doing with this? Like, the actual sun was being used to highlight them in the lightest color. So then I took what I was looking at and then like tried to translate it, but still make it look very similar.
Hmm.
And it was pretty fun, and I think it came out pretty good in the end.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, and Don doesn't have had no reference points. All he did was get the image, and he's like, "Yeah, Fred, Rosetta homage, 100%."
Yeah, but I liked how it was, but it had like you just mentioned, an animated style look over it, and I mean I recognized what the character was as soon as my eyes started to focus and but yeah, it's sweet.
Is
Thank you. And
uh,
then when I was coloring it, like I was like, I'm gonna put in some like lens flare because like everybody hates lens flare and it's just funny. So I started putting that in. And then I was like, oh man, it would just be funny if like the lens flare was sending like a beam out and it burned the dragon.
that
So so I have like the little singe mark on him, and that wasn't intended at all. That was just like, I'm sitting there, I'm coloring, and I'm just like, that'd be funny. And I just put it in, send it to John, like, what do you think? And if he laughs at it, they're like, all right, it's staying.
yep. That's the standard rule for you guys, right? If one of you laughs at the other's joke, it goes in the book.
That's pretty much it.
I love that. I freaking love that, man.
We're just like the weird stuff like lifting up the rock, and it's just like, can you do it? Let's find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we draw this? Yeah. Yeah, let's go for it.
Oh, I got a question on that one. When you said, could we do this in comics? Did you try drawing this when you were thinking this up, or you just verbally told him?
Sometimes I do that. And sometimes I don't because I kind of want to see what John's take is on it. So like when you get to the end sequence before the double page spread starts,
Mhm.
there's like one page where it's like a big panel at the top and then six little panels and
Yeah.
then six little panels and then the big panels. Or they're two panels and then the little panels. And I like had it visually, I saw it in my head as I was writing the script and I drew out the idea and I didn't have any like drawings in it. It was just literally like the panels, and like I was like, "What do you think of this?" And I was like, I had like 12 panels on the one page and like 12 on the other, so it was even more hectic than the final one, which I think was only six little panels and then the two big panels. And I was like, "Do you think this could work?" And I also wanted to do it like my idea was like color changing. And I was like, I think it would be fun from a color perspective. And I was like, I think this is an interesting idea and it fit the story. And then I sent it to John. I was like, all right, so this is when I'm writing this out. This is what I'm seeing, like, and I try not to be restrictive. So there was no drawing in it. But sometimes, I'll draw something or he'll draw an idea and we kind of like go back and forth on it. Um, we're we're always open to criticism from each other, which I think is important because, like you don't want to make something that you could push it a little bit more. So sometimes if he sends something to me or vice versa, and we're like, all right, like what if we do this? And then like usually that little push like gets it like right to that perfect spot. If that makes sense. It answers your
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, it does make sense. Have you ever come up with an idea and drawn it out and verbally told him and then see how he did it? I mean, is the approach different?
Sometimes, like, and we actually had in our first issue, um, so we co-wrote that script, and like I wrote out one part where I mean, by now I'm hoping people have read it, but where they fight the dragon, and they get knocked back and slice them and flip them off, and the editor's like, I don't see that. Like, I can't visually picture this. And I was like, I got you. And I drew the picture and I sent it to him. I was like, this is how it happens in my head. And it was just like, it's like thumbnail, like stick figure people sketches. And he's like, all right, like, I kind of see it. And then like John just like takes that and just knocks it out of the park. And
Uh-huh.
then when we get it back from the editor, he's like, gotcha. That one, that one's hanging up on my wall.
You got to have panels like that where you're like, oh yeah, yeah, this one stays. So
It's fun.
with the writing process, you mentioned that when you're writing, you're not trying to do any like paneling or even drawing at all, and that's one of the interesting ways that I found that some writers work. They actually will panel out everything and write what's going on in the panels.
Mhm. Yeah, I've done that.
How do, like it seems restrictive to me to hand an artist that
Right.
unless it's
Because
a very, very specific way that they're trying to do it and there's reason behind it. Like how much reason and how is there a reason other than storytelling that you would do that with a script?
so I mean like to me, when a writer hands off a script to an artist, it's problem solving. And problem solving is fun. So like the script, well, it's not a problem, but you're given a description and you're trying to take that description and translate it to the page and get the idea or some of them, some writers are very like literal, like very descriptive, and some of them aren't. We kind of strike a balance in between. So usually when we do like a scene transition, a detailed panel that kind of describes the scene, we're actually writing our script less for us and more for the editor. If we didn't have an editor on the book, we probably would not write a script in the script sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because the editor, and we had this plan from the very beginning, like the series is so much better because we use an editor on the book. Like we're not writers per se, like we're definitely more on the artist side, and I have incredible respect for writers, and it is I think it's like an underappreciated thing, especially in comics, like because you only see the dialogue, like dialogue is good or bad, like that's obvious, but they're doing so much more than that on so many other levels that we aren't at that skill level. So we work with an editor who basically compensates for, being too close to the story or not having a real plot. That happened with issue two. He's like, there's no real nothing that they need to overcome. In issue three, when we wrote that one, when we sent it to him, he came back with they there's nothing that's like really driving them through the story to get to the end. So then that's when I put the timer in. I was like, all right, John, we're gonna just turn it into Labyrinth. He's like, what are you talking about? It's like in 24 hours, the baby will be mine.
Yep.
And then like that was literally when Infinity War came out and the Thanos snapped. So like kind of we pull a lot of inspiration from the things and then like seeing like when it actually comes out on the page and then when we turn it into the editor, he's like, "Oh, okay." So we probably wouldn't write script form if it wasn't for that. So we're describing enough so that the editor can follow it, but then once you set the scene, like it's kind of like, okay, this is what they're doing, this is happening, and then that way, like John, like I said, it's problem solving, so he can take that and he gets to choose, like, all right, like what am I pulling, what am I showing, do I stretch this out, do I cut this, do I combine these two panels, and then he has the ultimate say because he's the artist, and like everything he does is like the perfect decision in my opinion. Like it comes back and is like, oh, I can't believe like how good that came out.
Nice. Nice. And I'm going to say something to someone I know who is listening right now, a quote unquote writer. Your AI editor that you are showing me is not going to give you the feedback that a real editor will. And if you don't understand that from what Ryan just said, can't help you.
No, like for real, like our editor pushes us, but at the same time, he doesn't give us the answers, if
Mhm.
that makes sense. Like
Yep.
James,
No.
if anybody has ever worked with James Powell, like he is great. Like he's like, this is the problem you're having, and you need to solve this. He doesn't say, all right, well, you should have the characters doing this, this, or this. Like, we still have to come back and figure out how to resolve the problem we are having
Mhm.
and then fix it.
Yeah, well,
That's
and I think that's what an editor should do. They should point out where the story is missing something, but not the solution, because the
Right.
solution is up to the creators, not not an editor. As
Mhm.
much as he loves the story and he's written for you, you know. I mean, God, I wonder what he was like editing his own story.
no,
He
it's
didn't edit it, John did.
Oh, really?
I
That
can see both ways. I could see some editors, basically saying you should do this, but I like the approach he's taken where he's letting the creators breathe. He's figuring he sees the issues of what readers are gonna find and brings it up. That's I like that quite well.
And that's a lot of trust both ways. Like we're trusting him and he's trusting us.
Right.
So
yeah, absolutely. Uh,
Have you changed your approach since you started working with an editor? Have you found anything changed when the editor came in
um
before?
so going from issue one to issue three, like I'm not gonna say we have an idea what he's gonna say, but we have a better idea. So like we'll write something now, like when we're like because we're on John's writing issues four, five, six, and seven. He's a beast. And he has four, five, and six completely written. and they're awesome. And like when we're going back through, we'll be like, all right, I bet you James is gonna say this. So, so we're trying to anticipate some of our problems, and it's kind of fun. And like, we're not actually hoping that it comes back and he's like, perfect. Like that doesn't do us any good. Like we actually look forward to like seeing what he's saying and then like taking that and like making it even better.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things that freaked me out when I sent you the story I did, is you were like, perfect, no notes. I'm like, no, that needs to be edited.
The only thing that gets probably edited is when John looks over it, he'll make sure to unify the characters' voices. So like that's what he did with James' script. Like somebody's cursing or not enough cursing or like, how they would say it would probably be a little bit different. So he'll tweak a little bit of that stuff. But when John draws your story, it's gonna be awesome. Like I loved your story, and I'm literally gonna get off this call and be like, I think that we should do it in 3.5. Um,
I don't see how you can, man. You're all geared up for what you got.
well, like we have all the space we want. We have the 4-page backup story, the backup story, all prepared because I don't know if you guys know, but since issue 1, we've had a tier that was be in the comic. It's like our highest level. It's called Mayhem Madness, and you get a cameo in the comic. So the person who did it on issue 1 was in issue 2, and then they backed it again for issue 3.
No kidding.
So and like they did it for issue 1, 2, and 3. So they have 3 cameos, and each one goes into the next book. It's not in the book that you back on the Kickstarter. So he was in issue 2 and then he did it again for issue 3, and that's where we screwed up the page count. We were ready to send it to print, and I go, "Oh my God, John, we forgot our cameo."
Oh no.
We
Did
had
you
we had
call?
written it out, but we forgot to put it in the book. So that's why some of the stuff got shuffled around in the back. And at that point, since we already had like a couple different instances where this person backed the book, I was just like, "Yeah, what if we just make him a recurring character?" And so the the 4-page story is literally like a whole story about this character and like um I think that came from like issue 2 where one of the characters dies, and as much as I hated coloring all the magic, um as I was doing the bookmark, when it was finally done, I'm like, this is the last thing I have to color of this magic. It takes so long. And then I was like, we should bring this guy back as the other guy.
You're like, oh, I hated drawing, I hated coloring this. Let's bring him back. Yeah.
That and I sent him a picture. Like I drew a sketch, and then I basically pitched like a short story idea, and then John just drew it.
Oh no.
Like if you guys seen Labyrinth,
Yeah.
the end of the movie where they get dumped into the garbage dump
Yeah.
part, I was like, let's make that as the story. Like it, I mean, I don't mind giving a little bit of away, but it's inside their bag of holding.
Oh man.
So that's what it looked like. So the story's taking place inside the bag of holding that we don't call the bag of holding, but it looks like Labyrinth. And but John's visual of it, and it is awesome. So we already drew it, and that's gonna. So he's just a reoccurring character at this point. I even had somebody write an NPC character thing for him. So
Right.
like he has his own D&D like stat block thing.
Dude, I can't wait for this issue. This is gonna be so freaking cool.
Hey, all I have in my head is I'm feeling really concerned about the person who's doing all these cameos in the book because I see you guys eventually trademarking the character and he's going to start
Steal this-
paying you a licensing fee to show up in public.
I mean, he could cosplay as himself.
There you go.
Wh- So I actually I was discussing about how in issue 3 I did Hero Forge. So After I drew the sketch, I actually went ahead and made the character in Hero Forge. Like I took the other character and I changed some stuff on it. And then I took the head, and I don't know if you guys know how detailed you can get with people's heads now. It is insane. I've never
Mhm.
met the guy, so John works with him, so he knows him personally. And I was like, send me a picture, and I'll put him in Hero Forge. And so like I sculpted this head on
Oh
the Hero
man,
Forge, and it looks just like him.
dude, you're going to levels on Hero Forge I won't even play with. That's just it's too much for me. That's
Oh my God, like I lose so much time in there.
yeah.
Oh, like I go on like I try to not go on because when I get into it, like I'm into it and I'm like a week and a half and I'm like still sculpting the same character. Um, with the issue that I was like, I'm working. This counts as getting work done.
Oh man, you got to join the Hero Forge groups on Reddit and start posting characters, man.
I should show you the unicorn and Cyclops guy.
Oh, oh yeah, that's right. They did the Cyclopses recently. God, I haven't been on there in a while. I'm not getting anything done tonight.
So they actually added a whole bunch of hand gestures.
I, yeah.
And when I was sculpting, I noticed that. So I took the worst figurine, the little 3D one,
Mhm.
and for John's birthday, um, because he doesn't go on Hero Forge like I do, I took the worst and I changed the pose a little bit, and they have the flip the bird now.
Yep.
So I got the oversized statue. I was like, so they have the little minis and then they have like the double size ones. And I was like, all right, so like John's gonna love this. It's gonna be a great birthday present. I can't wait to see his face when he opens it. It's a good present, and then it's also like market research because I've never seen in person with the colored minis of the double size one. They were not double size. They're like triple
Really?
or maybe even more. Like if you take the D&D mini, like this one, it was probably like that.
Oh,
It's
Nice.
it's basically like you could sculpt like mini statue of your characters if you really wanted. And it came out really good. I was like, "Oh, that's great." And when John opened it up, worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. They're so much fun. I've only ordered one color figure from them. It was my original D&D character from high school,
Mhm.
who now makes regular appearances in my games.
As they have to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Hero Forge is just yeah, you can get lost on there, man. You gotta be careful.
I love it.
Well, guys, it's almost the end. So before we go, Ryan, you know where across the internet can everybody find you, John, and Wurst Mayhem?
So we have our website is commonwealthcomics.com, and it's COMIX because somebody else took the regular spelling. And that pretty much links to everything you would need to. You can find like we even post our podcast videos. So like if you want to come back and watch this at a later date, like all that stuff is right there.
Yeah,
Makes it super easy.
awesome, man. Awesome. Ryan, it's a blast getting to actually sit and talk with you rather than just messaging back and forth, man. Uh,
Absolutely.
I can't wait for this next issue. It's gonna be so much fun. Uh, but until next time, everybody,
read.
more.
Comics.
Yeah. Totally didn't even prep him for that. I totally forgot.
You can hear our most recent 20 episodes on iTunes. If you would like to hear our older episodes, you can find them on our blog. Just go to bunchofdorks.com and click on the Cyclops.
Your Dimension can be found on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. If you like what you hear, you can subscribe, rate, leave a review, tell a friend, or like us on Facebook. Thanks for listening.
If you would like to be part of the show, draw a fake comic book cover and we'll use it to promote our new episodes online.
If you'd like to promote your music, send us your MP3 and you can have a musical spotlight on the show. Plus, we'll add you on a link on our music page.
We have t-shirts designed available for you. So you can find them on the sidebar of the blog. Listen to the show, wear the shirt.